Hello, my soul family. Happy summer solstice and full moon today, I think officially, in Capricorn, strawberry full moon. So I just wanted to stop by and say hello and share a couple of reflections with you as we step through this seasonal gateway and what we are leaving behind us and what we're stepping into. And there's this, the height of energy and power, the solar power of the summer solstice, the sun, the life-giving properties of the father, the masculine, and that's right where the moon, which is the feminine full moon, is happening in Capricorn, which has historically represented societal structures and conventions and that sort of thing. And it's almost like I keep having this vision of the sun burning away all of the structures that have become too restrictive for us in our next tier of evolution in our humanity. And of course, our lives are the micro of the macro. So although there's these societal systems and these institutions, including, the political system, the economy, educational system, and what have you, we've also internalized those because we're not separate. We live in a systemic field of shared reality. We also have an individual option to determine where we focus our attention on and how we embody these structures, whether we consciously choose to create something new for ourselves. Well, we are dismantling systems that may no longer be in alignment with our higher values and our heart stream. And so all of this is happening right now, and it's quite an intense time. We have this full moon, the feminine, which is the divine feminine, in the sky with the masculine solar energy. So there's this divine union energy also online. And it's an incredible opportunity to reflect internally on the relationship between that masculine energy, the protector, the provider, often related to the material world or the mind, which is ruled by Capricorn on some level. And then we have the feminine, which is the soma, or the life force that's flowing through us all of the time. And we have to have the structure and the flow. We have to have the feminine and the masculine. And are they working in collaboration, or are they working at odds? And so this is often visible with how we're approaching our lives, the mindsets we hold about our position and power. And this is our relationship to the mind. Our mind is the structure which contains our perspective, which determines our relationship with how we get to use our life force out in the world. And so when we begin to notice the power of the mind to create perspective, we can start to play around with this intentionally, and that when we shift our perspective, what we're looking at changes. You may have heard this. When we shift how we're looking at something, what we're looking at changes. And so is it really the thing outside of us that changes, or was it our ability to access a more expansive or resourceful view of what's happening or what's outside of us? And so there's this incredible opportunity at this time to begin to see the solar power of the Father in regard to how it creates and holds structures. And a lot of times the structures were given to us without choice, through convention, through inheritance, through social conditioning. And at this time, we're being given the opportunity to burn those up to burn those structures that aren't actually helping us step into our fullest potential and expression in the world, to be of service, to be of impact at the level that the world is calling for at this time. And so there's this beautiful dance that's available where the masculine becomes in service of the feminine life force. And the feminine life force is moving through the intelligence that is life. And it is gnosis, it's wisdom without the mind. It's that wisdom that is connected to all that is. It's connected to Mother Gaia. It's connected to this morphogenic field of the blueprint of life itself that is regenerative. It's loving. It's compassionate. It's joyful. It's expansive. It's aliveness itself. And so how do we begin to serve that aliveness with the mind in a way that honors and uplifts the feminine? And I think not yesterday, well, maybe it was the day before, as I was preparing for the first resonance circle that happened last night at my home, right here, actually, in the space, which was a beautiful way to invite the solstice in. And it is the first of many to come, because that's what the feminine life force is calling for. It's like what I am getting the message like that I was born for, right? Is to do this work, to create the practices and the tools, and to share this language of energy with people. And that goes beyond the mind. So we have the stories, we have the narrative, we have the structures like overly developed, like so much so that there's not a lot of freedom in those. And now we're being given the opportunity to return to that feminine energy that is necessary for a balanced life. And more specifically, I heard the other day, I went to the park to just rest and connect to the earth and like the trees and nature, and just to rest for a little bit without having to do. And at that time, I heard like, I was noticing the reaction in my body and in my life of this constant wanting to know, to do, to say, direct, to control. Actually, that's what it is. And I was looking at that impulse, like, where does that come from? And why is it so overactive in my system? And I heard, it's a reaction to the exile of the feminine from the divine. It's a reaction it's a product, it's a symptom of the pain around the feminine's exile from divinity. And that grasping, that injustice, that heart level hurt that occurred as a result of that, not just for feminine bodied people, but for humanity as a whole, without it ever even perhaps realizing the depth of what was cast out. And now that is coming back to the realm of humanity consciously, if we choose to welcome her back as a party and a necessary ingredient in creation and in life. Although she's always been here, the mind hasn't always held her in the reconciliation of partnership, of equal partnership, of value, of the wealth of the being on this planet. Because it is this inner life force which is the most valuable resource that we have available. Although the mind has often projected it out into money and possessions and control and this perception of power, which are all a result of losing connection or as a compensation for losing connection to the most valuable thing that we have, which is that internal feminine, that life force. And for men, there's an incredible reconciliation, a homecoming that is stirring up all of us in unprecedented levels. I don't know about you, but I'm calling this process that I've been going through for the past, I don't know how, I don't even know how long it's been going on. It's just becoming at a crescendo at this time in the summer solstice of feeling like a cauldron, like something's being cooked up in me, in my life. I'm just quieting my phone notifications, so excuse me. And so there's this cauldron brewing, and it reminds me, because I love literature and I was always studying language because I had this belief that, language is the tool in which we think. And that's really why I began studying philosophy, language, linguistics, somatics, because I thought that was the place with the philosophers where the answers and the true truth, with a capital T, was, only to find out that it's only the surface level because it's left out everything underneath it, which is the somatic energetic field, which is a language within itself. And so it's so miraculous how life works, how it unfolds, and that I find myself in this work of teaching and working with the somatics of the body, which is the language of energy, which was the thing that I was attempting to get through my mind. And it just has taken me a bit to catch up with myself with the energy on the planet that's unfolding right now. So I'm happy to say that I've stepped into my work, into my authentic life purpose, like no kidding. And I'm super excited about it. I'm super excited to share more and more with you and what becomes available as we begin to tap in to the embodied expression of it, because it's not enough to talk about it. It's not enough to read books about it. It's not enough to say, oh, isn't that a nice idea? It's actually an embodied practice. So I will be creating an online somatic sensing and resonance group. And I'm just giving you a heads up to keep your eyes peeled for it, because I would love for those people that are interested and they're like called to it, like sign me up, that's it, that it's coming. I haven't chose the exact dates yet. It will be a monthly group happening the same day of the month every month, sorry, the same day of the month every month for who knows how long, maybe a year. We'll see. So it will be repeating, let's say. And I will unveil more details as they become available, but I just wanted to stop by and share this solstice update and the full moon update, and share a little with you about the energy that is moving through my life, and an invitation to examine, like, what are you burning away this solstice? What rigid structures in your life have become a limiting for you, and that you're ready to incinerate, let's say, and make space for more fluidity, more flow, more synchronicity, more magic and miracles. So let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear how this energy is treating you and how you're experiencing it. All right, I'm going to leave it there now. Until next time, please remember what a valuable treasure you are, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.